puppy. And here we go. So Eileen, with the topic of stories, I love how you shared and the honesty. Like I've been afraid to share my story because it's not like rags to riches or whatever. And honestly, um, there is no two things that I want to say about that. Number one, there is no your story needs to be this way to be told. Everybody has a story, right? Like everybody has a different story, and we have to honor that story. And we have to, I think, during the journey, we find different pieces of our story. And I'm excited to share with you some of those new pieces that I found in my story that maybe I thought weren't important. But I think now, looking back, they're so important. And I chose to hide them because I never wanted to share that I was struggling. I didn't want people to know that I was struggling. So I hid them. And now I'm like, other people that knew were like, you remember those days? I'm like, shoot, I never share that. So of course, everybody thinks this is all fun and games and unicorns, and we have the most amazing unicorn leggings, right? But it's like what? So your story is important, no matter where you're at. Okay, no matter what it is. And number two is that um, I loved that you were aware of that. And I know that a lot of that awareness of what's happening, of where we're growing, where we want to go, all of that, we can't figure it out on our own. If I sit here by myself and I try to do the work, I don't know that other people are battling the same battles, or I don't know of people that have overcome those battles and that I'm going to be okay. So the only way that I'm able to say, if she can do it, I can do it too, is by hearing other people's stories. And some of you maybe are aware of this. Some of you I know are participating. I know Vero is, and Andrew, Tracy, many of you are listening to um, or have been part of the 7-day GoPro recruiting challenge. I highly like, I am like not even understanding how I never plugged into Eric Worre before. Um, Legit. I'll be like, I can, right, Tracy? I told Tracy, and it's funny because she brought Eric Worre up a few months back. She's like, oh, I found this lady. She found like Jessie Lee, and she said, I found her. I'm like, how do you know about her? Like, how do you find her? She said, oh, I found it through Eric Worre. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that guy. And I remember reading his book. That was one of the first things I read when I started in this industry of direct sales, network marketing, all that stuff. So, with that being said, I think it is really important that you guys are here. It is really important that you guys are getting plugged into this. And there is a new wave, a new level coming for our team. There's a few things that I've realized that we've been going through the motions, that we've been doing, and we're just like go 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 go. But there are a few things that I know are going to help our team duplicate and create more belief and more confidence. And ultimately, what I want for you, regardless of what your goals are, I want your goals to become true. Like I want your dreams to become true. So your goal may be, I want to go on vacation to Savannah, Georgia. And then another one of you, you're like, I want to go to Hawaii one day. I'm like, okay, let's make it all happen. I don't know what that is, but we're going to help you and we're going to multiply our efforts. This is going to require a lot of team effort. You guys, be braver than you've been before from this point on. I want you to make that decision. And if you are okay with it, just put your hand up. I want to make sure that we know who we're talking to. Like, are we in? Yeah, you commit to being braver than you've been up until now. And that looks like inviting people to listen to the stories. Be brave in sharing your story and sharing other people's stories. So today you're gonna hear Tracy's story. I'm going to ask her a couple of questions that I think are important. Um, and some of you know Tracy's story, but there's a lot of you that don't. I'm also going to share parts of my story. And also, just keep in mind, stories are full of so many tiny stories So you don't have to tell your whole story, but there has to be little things about you, things that you've overcome that are important. People will be inspired by your story and what you're overcome, but about what you overcome, not by your success. So inspire with your story. You can't get anywhere if you don't have other people with you. Okay, so that's important. Um, so I'm excited about this. We have also another announcement. Just want to remind you guys of the Cash for Christmas. We still have a few days going. Remember to close parties, as many parties as you can. Each party is an entry into the giveaways, the drawings that that corporate is doing every week. I don't know yet. I saw an email with the winners. I could not recognize any name. I don't know. Do we know? I know Jill said somebody on her team, right? So Tracy, it's got to be somebody on your downline. Somebody won. So I don't know. Oh, what? Apple Watch? Oh, cool. That's exciting. So anyway, it's a matter of one party, and you could be. It's like winning the lottery. You just never know, right? Like it's a matter of one lucky party that gets you into the drawing, and that's the one that gets you to win. And then the Cash for Christmas tree, if you are not familiar with it or you haven't had awareness of it, for every $500 you sell, you complete that Christmas tree chart, and then you enter your name into a drawing for prizes that we're going to be doing the first week of December. Okay, you gotta make. I cannot physically go and put everybody's name in because there's a lot, but make sure that you put your name. If you sell 1,000, then you put your name in that entry 2 times. Okay, deal? If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask. That's it. So let's go ahead and let's kick off. Let me just edify the crap out of you, Tracy. It is 6 a.m. Look at her. It is 6:09. Yeah, I mean, it's 6 a.m. in California. She is in San Diego, California. It's 6 a.m. Like, what? Okay, you look amazing. Thank you for doing this for us. Um, thank you so much. And with that being said, let's unmute our dear Tracy. Here we go. Did I get you unmuted? I got you, right?
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Tracy. Okay, so let me just say, Tracy is a double Zaya executive. She was one of the first handful of people that when I posted that I had signed up for this new adventure and I was super excited and I had no clue what I was going to do or what I was doing. And she was one of the first people that said, tell me about it. And after a ton of questions, because she is one of our Excel spreadsheet type of person, she's the she's like, so what is it? What is this? And what is that? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, we'll figure it out. She's like, okay. Like, okay. We met. So this is funny. And this is one thing that I want to bring up. Success leaves clues. So when I found Tracy, I was actually with Beachbody. And I saw my sponsor, who was the top coach in the company. I saw she was sharing these shirts. She had ordered t-shirts. I'm like, oh, she made shirts for the team. I want to make shirts for my team. So I saw that she had tagged a company that was making shirts, and it was Tracy's Etsy store. Was it an Etsy store? I don't even remember. So somehow we ended up being friends, and then for a while we never interacted. We didn't know really each other. We just did business. She sent the shirts, they were great. I took them to our company summit. It was awesome. But we never really interacted. But she showed curiosity in what I was doing because I shared. And like, legit, guys, if you see my post, is the dumbest thing ever because it was just me excited again. That was it. I was defeated. I was sad. I was whatever. And somehow she said, hey, tell me about it. What are you doing? So, Tracy, how do you go from signing up with somebody that says, I don't know what we're doing, to deciding, you know what, this is a great opportunity and I want to move forward with it. Tell us about you, a little bit about you and your background. Nobody can say it better than you. So go ahead. I'll be quiet now.
Good morning. I still have my morning voice right now. It's so early. But this is well worth it, and thank you for having me. So, I am a CPA. I used to work as a controller for a restaurant franchise organization. We managed 40 restaurants, and I've been a CPA for several years. And when I was with Beachbody, I was with Beachbody as well. When I saw Paula join Beachbody, or posting about Beachbody and all that stuff, and so, anyways. Um, I got really discouraged with being with Beachbody because it's a different business model as far as the product that you stand behind. You are coaching individuals through a journey, and being so busy, I have two children, two small children, and working full time. It was just getting very difficult for me to be able to maintain these coaching relationships with these customers and see them out throughout their journeys. And so, and things were starting to change at work. And so when I saw Paula posting about this new company, first she piqued my interest because I remember the first post she put up was that she had made the decision to move on with a different company. And I was like, whoa, what is this? She didn't even tell us what it was first. Like, she just said, I'm so excited, I'm starting something new. And then so I like kept refreshing her profile, waiting to see when she was gonna freaking post about what she was doing. And so, anyways, she finally posted about what she was doing. And right then and there, I knew. I was like, boom, okay, I'm doing this. And the reason is because I've always been the type to do side hustles. For as long as I can remember, I've been a side hustle person. I used to sell stuff at the swap meet when I was little. Like, we used to go to the swap meet on Saturday mornings and get our butts up at like 3 a.m. to get the best spot to sell. Like, I was always selling stuff. I used to take like little stickers and put them on magnets and then cut them out and then sell them for like a quarter each. I had lemonade stands. Like, I've always been someone who has done something on the side. So, anyways, um, it just seemed like a natural fit to join Zaya since I was already so active. I thought, why not sell something that is just so much low pressure, you know what I mean? So that's basically how I was able to make that transition from going from Beachbody into just, it just seemed like a natural fit. And also, I think there was that, just like that gut feeling inside where I was like, this is something that I just know I need to go with. And it's funny because we all know the company LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe was like all the rage right around the time that we signed up. It was like super duper popular. And I remember thinking, like, wouldn't it be amazing if we had an MLM like LuLaRoe, but it was for activewear, and I didn't have to buy the inventory and carry the inventory and ship it. And so when I saw Zaya posted, I was like, oh my God, it's real. So does that answer your question?
It's like Kendra. Kendra, also a friend of mine, said, Paula, a friend of mine asked, we were at the pool and she said, it would be so awesome if there was a legging MLM. And she was like, wait, I do have a friend on Facebook that is with this company. And that's how I connected with Kendra. So it is, there are people out there thinking those thoughts. Like, that's that I didn't think. I'm not that creative. Like, oh, it would be great. I just saw it. I'm like, oh, a legging MLM? What the heck? That's great. Sign me up. What are we doing? So, yeah. So
Mhm.
that's good. Okay. So that I also sold stuff when I was young. I was always selling, like, guys, I grew up in Colombia, and things imported from the US were cool. So I was selling sneaker bars, Milky Way. I was making little bracelets, keychains. I don't know if you guys remember, like, plastic. You would take like plastic strings, all different colors, and like do all these things. And then the bracelets with names. Like, I was making them and selling. I've always liked being independent. And one thing that is tricky is that half of my my heritage is Arabic, and women are not meant to be, women are meant to be submissive, and women are meant to be at home. And I grew up thinking, I don't want to be like that. So thank God my dad didn't like really practice the culture, but it was part of that, knowing that that was part of my half of the side of my family. So it was almost like that also created that rebellious part of me. Like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be like Colombian. I want to be more like, I don't know. I think everybody has a little entrepreneurial in themselves. Um, so acknowledge it and be proud of it if you're like that. So now, Tracy, so there were times where I know you were ready for it, like you were always going. There were times where I know you were busy with work, and it was busy, and it was hard. There were times where it was hard. When did that shift of thinking, man, I want to be home with my kids, like this is really tugging at my heart, maybe this is the way? What do you remember? Can you point out like a moment when you were like, yeah, this is happening?
Well, that vision was actually formed pretty early when I was with Beachbody. I had that vision, but the lack of results and just the fact that it seemed like, I was in there for 2.5 years and I was nowhere near where I should have been, to like not even close to be able to match my income to be able to be home. So that dream definitely fizzled out big time. Like I was like, you know what, I'm probably just meant to be in the corporate world and that's my life. So being in Zaya, I would say that um, it was probably about, I don't know, like 8 months in. I think it was when we went to the leadership trip. That's when it really hit me, because so our team earned the leadership trip in early 2019. So I was in Cancun. I got to hang out with Paula, and it was amazing. But I went there reluctantly because our team had not requalified for the rank that earned me the trip. We hit that rank one time and never requalified, and so I went on that trip feeling very um, like I felt like I didn't belong there, and so,
Unworthy,
huh?
maybe. Unworthy,
Oh
maybe.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I was there with all the people that you see in our up line, where we're like, oh, there are size celebrities, we're there. I was there with all the owners, and it was a very hard experience for me because I wasn't fully allowing myself to enjoy it. But I did have a realization while I was there that there's so many people who created this amazing life for themselves with this opportunity, and just seeing how much Zaya appreciates us, and that they bend over backwards to be able to show us how much they love us and that they care about us, that I felt a sense of peace, that I knew I was in the right place, and that seeing the proof in front of me of all of these leaders being able to create the financial freedom for themselves to be able to do this full time for themselves. I was like, you know what? I think that vision and that dream definitely came alive again, like that renewed energy, that I was like, you know what? I can make this my full-time gig. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I can make this happen. So that's when it hit me, was being surrounded by so many other people and witnessing like firsthand that they were able to do it for themselves too.
Right, and that idea of, oh, they're pretty normal people. It's not, I mean, not just, it's, that's one of the things, like we look at others and we say, I'm not like her, I'm never gonna achieve that, so why bother, because I'm not like that. And like I said, there is no story, and also on top of that is, there is no right or wrong personality or look or um or drive. I think it's work ethics, is you showing up, being the hardest working person, or giving at least the minimum, um the minimum activities that are going to move the needle forward. It is a long journey. Now, being in this journey for 10 years, I can tell you, I look back and I'm like, man, I should have done that before, or I should have done this sooner. And who knows, maybe where I would be right now. And I'm my personality is I'm never going to be happy. Like even my kids say, Mom, I don't see you ever sitting on the couch, not doing anything. You will always be doing something because that's just how I am. I like I like to do things. I like to grow. I'm addicted to that. It's just it from when I was little. So there's nothing wrong with it, right? Like sometimes I have to calm myself down, like, okay, maybe I need to take a break or be like, okay, what can I do better? So those are the things that are important. And one thing that I remember in that moment when we came back from Cancun, Tracy saying, I'm doing this, I'm signing up for this leadership course that like you can tell, okay, you can beat yourself up about something, but that awareness of, okay, what do I want to do now? So it is important for you guys right now in this point to say, okay, like a self-check, like, okay, I'm not where I want to be, or I'm happy with what I've accomplished so far, but what do I need to do to get to the next level? You have to ask those questions constantly. And sometimes it's hard. Like you have no idea how many times I've beat myself up and be like, dang, why didn't you do that before? Why didn't you ask somebody? Or why didn't you watch a video? Like, why didn't you seek for that? But I snap out of it. I said, okay, I can't control yesterday, but I can control what I do today. And I can control what I do from this point on. So check yourself, like, are you in the same place that you were 90 days ago? Are you in the same place that and do you want that, or do you want to change it? And what can you do from this point on? Okay. Melissa, I just want to chip in about confidence, not to call you out, Melissa, but we were talking about this, and I hope that you don't mind that I share it. But Melissa said to me this week, she said, what else do I do? Like, what personal development? And I love that you're asking me those questions, because you know there are things that you need to work on. But at the same time, we get to a point where I know that she has the knowledge. I know that she knows what to do, but we doubt ourselves. It's a matter of getting in the car, turning it on and say, okay, let's go. And we'll figure out. There may be bumps in the road. It may rain, so it may get tricky. There may be, a car getting on the way, a bad driver, and you just want to, give him the finger, but you just keep going because you're determined to get to that destination. And that's what this business is about. So there will be lots of different things that get on the path, but just keep moving forward. And so Tracy started that journey. And I think that also it's incredible the fact that listening to your teammates and listening to your sisters in the business, it also creates like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we can get better at this. So we communicate a lot about that. We talk about that a lot, and always looking for ways to get better. I admire your resilience, Tracy. And that is something that many of you I know have. You have to pull it out and let it be the thing that helps you keep going. Not every day is going to be perfect. Like Tracy said to me earlier, sometimes I feel like I don't believe in myself. And me too. But how do you find that belief, Tracy? Where you're like, okay, shake it off, Tracy, let's go.
Oh gosh, resilience is a trigger word for me. I I instantly started getting watery eyed. So if you don't know my story, I'll just tell you very briefly. So when I was working full time, I was we went through ownership change at work, and it was just the boss, the old boss, transferring it down to his son. And I was super excited, and that was right around the time that I had signed up with no. Yes, around the time I signed up with Zaya. And so he sat back and observed for a good year. And so it was around the time that we came back from Cancun that he came in full force and ran the show. Well, he, I was like really
Talk about the devil at work.
Oh my gosh. So I was super excited to be working under him. He's like young and big goals and vision for the company. Well, he ended up making my life a living hell. I had never been micromanaged before, and he was micromanaging me. He clearly didn't trust me. He would question all of my work, and I would tell him an answer, and he would say, try again. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't, what do you say? I'm like, I'm your right hand. And if you don't trust the answers that I'm giving you, then what? Like, I don't get it. So anyways, and then COVID hit, and COVID was like, oh my gosh, I get to be working at home. Thank God. Because I always had the ability to work from home, but I never got to because he wanted me down the hall from him at his within reach. So working from home was, at first I was like, I'm so happy to finally be home with my kids, because I was working stupid hours. I would
And
be in, it
right.
was ridiculous. Like I was in the office um, from 8 to 7 or 8 at night every single day, and then I was working on the weekends and not spending time with my family. Like I remember so many times my kids are like, "Mommy, why can't you come with us?" And I'm like, "Sorry, honey, mommy has to work." And so it wasn't just me being home super late every night. It was me not even being able to spend time on the weekends with my family. So when COVID hit, I was like super duper excited to be able to be home. Well, I think the lines, if there were any boundaries between work and home life, those were blurred completely. And I was expected to be working around the clock on the weekends. I remember one time I told him, I was like, you do realize I ignored my family this entire weekend to get this assignment done for you. And he was like, well, short-term pain for long-term gain. And all I could think was like, you son of a, like,
Didn't he tell you once, like, you had like something to finish and there was like a deadline and you were so stressed out and you're like, I don't think I'm gonna have time for this. And you told him that and he said, well, bring a mattress or something to the office.
oh yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't.
He's extremely unreasonable. He's like, we all have 24 hours in the day. You can get it done. And I'm like, what the,
Blood.
anyway, I was salaried. So it was, I mean, I, I calculated it. I was working like 35, 40 hours for free. Basically, that's what it boiled down to. So anyways, um, the resilience, how did I keep going? So I think there was a couple of different factors that kept me going. One is the support system, and leaning into the team, and leaning into my sisters, and having that support system of constantly telling me like, Tracy, just keep going, you got this, you're gonna get there. I still plugged into personal development every single day on my commutes.
Mhm.
I had at least a 30-45 minute commute each way. And so I was always listening to podcasts and something that would keep my head focused. Because in the times when you feel like nothing is happening, you feel hopeless, you feel like you're not getting anywhere, it's your responsibility to fill your head with the good stuff to keep your head in the game. Like you need to stay on track. I didn't read books because I didn't have time to read books. And if I ever did, I would fall asleep. Like books are not, I just started reading. I think I finished a book for the first time in, I don't know, 10 years. So everything was on Audible for me, podcasts, Audible, all that. But it's also like, there were times where I didn't want to work. And I'll admit there were times when I wasn't full force and all in, because I was just trying to survive the day. I was just trying to get through the day, and Zaya was the furthest thing from my mind. And so, but it's all about like, okay, today went to complete crap. It's fine. It's totally fine. But tomorrow, I can make tomorrow better. Yes, I might be falling in this downward spiral of depression and stress, and it was changing me as a person. My husband was like, come on, Tracy, like help me out here. You're like, things aren't, you're not doing so well. Like observing from the outside, seeing your wife just completely like turn into this, just not a good person. It was hard for him. It was hard for my kids to be able to see that. And so it's just knowing like, okay, let me get through today, and tomorrow will be better. And then tomorrow I can be a bit more intentional, and find those pockets in the day
Mhm.
of being able to get something done. Because, but what did someone call it before, like potty posting? Like, you can't if you take your phone to the bathroom with you, just send a quick message, put up a quick post. It's just, there's little
Wake
things that
up
you
a
can do to
little
get to.
earlier, just
Yeah.
leave it. Yeah. So I was, and my eyes were watery because one thing is listening to somebody's story and be like, is that really true? Like you can't really, like you can't picture it in your head. But when you either been there and you can relate, and also the other side, when you've been through it with the person, it's like, man, that was hard, and look at you now. Like Kathleen just said, we remember those tears, we remember those moments, and it's just amazing, and you guys can be that too. Tracy, when you say you were, we say just show up and do something. What would you, somebody who is right now like, I want to have a story like that, or I want to move the needle forward, what are three things? And I think one of them is personal development, you just gave it away, but what are two, so out of three, two more things, two more things that you would suggest people do at a minimum? Your day's going like crap, you have a couple of days where you're like, I can't find time for anything, I'm overwhelmed, my hormones, my kids, my husband, the yard, it's raining, whatever. What would you say? Do this.
Okay. So one of the things that I always try to make my main focus, okay, because see here, my goal was to get out of my job. And so I knew I had to do certain activities that would create that financial ability to leave my job.
Mhm.
And one of them is growing a team and consistently growing a team. So one of the things that I always did was I worked on recruiting.
Mhm.
I you can cold messaging is something that I did heavily because
Mind you, Tracy is our top recruiter of the team. The entire team, when you run the numbers and see who has recruited the most people, Tracy is our top recruiter in the history of our team. So even though things were going crazy, she kept. So that's just to validate what you're saying. You were focused on that, on building a team.
yeah, it was my main focus because I knew that I had to create that team and the residual income to be able to leave my job, because you can only go so far on your own commissions. And when I was working stupid hours, I didn't have time to run 15 parties.
Right.
I hardly had
There's
time to
no
run one
screen
party.
share there.
No, I didn't know about any of that stuff. And if I knew about it, I didn't have time to learn it. So that, like, my main focus was like, okay, I need to grow. And so I cold messaged all the time. It took me just a few minutes to crank out 10 messages. And that's something that I encourage you guys to build in your everyday activities, is reaching out and presenting the opportunity to at least one person a day.
Mhm.
At least one person, at least 5 people, whatever you see yourself as manageable to be consistent with. That's something that I highly encourage you to do. And you don't need to know it all. If you're brand new, it doesn't matter. We have systems, we have upline, we have sideline help, so that if
We
you
have
ever have any
script, we
questions,
have videos to
we
go.
have, yeah, we have everything. Like, there's no reason why you should feel like you're not worthy or unable to recruit, because presenting this opportunity to someone, it just keep working that muscle and it gets a lot easier.
Mhm.
um let's see, I think the other thing that I would encourage you to do is to show up with enthusiasm, show up excited about what you're doing, and don't shut up about it. uh, I even during those hard times, I still continue to show up and present my vision and show how, yes, I'm going through this hard time right now, but I do know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there is a way for me to get out of this at some point. And so showing up on your stories, showing up with enthusiasm, I encourage you to do live videos. You have to share your excitement and you can't hide what you're doing. Like there's no embarrassment here. You have to show up with pride about what you're doing. And so that would be the other thing, is that you like be someone that they can't ignore because you don't stop showing up in different places. Melissa says, how do you know who to approach with the opportunity? I message everyone. I don't prejudge, because once you start getting in the game of trying to analyze if this person or that person would be good to approach, you're wasting your time. So that's a very big time suck of sitting and thinking, should I message that person or not? You could have sent 5 messages in that time of analyzing. So I present it to everyone. I suggest if you're doing parties, present it to all of the customers individually in your follow-ups, message them, find out how they like what they got, and then ask them, would they be open to learning about what you're doing? In the cold message piece, I didn't prejudge anyone. I just, as long as they look like they were somewhat into being active, I messaged them. And it's just getting in the habit of doing it.
Because you have on your team people that were friends with you, friends from like the chicken list. Like you have a few people that right on your team. Like, yeah, just present it to anybody. Just say, hey, I have this, I've been doing this, I'm really excited about it. I don't know if it's for you or not. I think you would be great at it. If you want to take a look, let me know. If not, no big deal. That's it.
And my top leader ghosted me, or one of my top leaders ghosted me for about 2 months after I sent that message.
Whoops.
Get her now.
Good. So thank you, Tracy. And I have to say, you guys, she also started podcast. So for those of you that are looking for, okay, what personal development, what do I do? She has to, I'm loud and obnoxious at times. I love Tracy because her voice is just so, it's like, okay, calm down, Paula. And I love listening to her. I'll go walk and I'll listen to her. It's great. It's amazing. It's build your empire with Tracy Diato. It's subscribe, leave reviews. Let's build that podcast. But most importantly, it is going to help you. A lot of people are coming back with a lot of great reviews. So it is going to help you. She has a lot of topics that are important to us every single day. So I'm really proud of you, Tracy, for everything that you have done, the lives that you're changing, the fact that you said, I am going to fight for this and I'm going to fight for this dream no matter what happens. And love watching your journey. Some of you guys need to borrow that belief from Tracy. Just say, if Tracy can do it, I can do it too. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to leave your full-time job, that you're going to be starting a podcast, but just think, I have this dream. And if Tracy was able to accomplish her dreams, I can do it too. That's it. There's no magic formula. It's hustle. It's talking to people. This business is built with people and relationships and bringing people on board and getting a lot of no's. And that's one of the things that we think. One person says no, oh, I suck, I'm not good. No, you got to go find more people because not everybody's ready. And this is important to say it. I'll share with you my husband. He's not ready, but he supports me. Like he believes in it, but he just doesn't see himself doing it. Does that make him a bad person? Does that make me a failure? I'm not trying to convert people to believe in what I do. I am trying to find people that want to do what I do. And it's different. The frustration and the disappointment comes from wanting people to believe in what I believe in. So you cannot condition your energy and your motivation and your dreams on the belief of other people. I wouldn't have moved anywhere if I was just waiting for approval and for everyone to tell me yes. Okay. So stay in your lane, do your things. I will share with you guys some of, like I promised, like I after hearing Tracy's stories, like, I don't think you guys need to hear my story, but I will tell you things that I didn't share and just came back. There were times we moved to this state 5 years ago. We used to live in New Jersey. I knew nobody here. I knew nobody. I had to make my way to start meeting people, to getting to know people. Back then, I don't think I had the level of confidence that I have now. I had to build it by setting small goals and working towards them. So break down your goal. Like my ultimate goal was always to retire my husband from his job. And that came from the idea that I didn't think it was fair that I had this freedom to be at home and everything, but at the same time, we had our hands tied because he couldn't do much. So he would go to bed at 8 o'clock, and he had to wake up at 2 in the morning. That was hard. Then there was a time where he was working all night, so he would leave at 3 p.m. He wouldn't see the kids all week. For some people that's normal and that's just life. For me, that's not living your life. Not being able to see your family for a whole week, that sucks to me. It doesn't have to be the same way. You don't have to think of it that same way, but to me it was hard. I'm like, I need a break too. Like I want to be able to do things. So I would wake up early before the kids woke up. So that would be my strategies for you to do the things that Tracy recommended. Personal development, recruiting. What was the third one, Tracy? Personal development, recruiting. Oh, excitement. That's right. Yeah. Showing up with enthusiasm, showing up with energy, being consistent in showing up in your stories, in TikTok. I am actually trying to, I haven't told her, but Eileen, after watching your video this morning, it hit me. I was putting on makeup. I'm like, I need to ask Eileen to train us on TikTok. So here's your official invite in front of the team, and you can't tell us no. Teach us how to do TikTok videos, just how to work the buttons, because I have no clue. It doesn't have to be right now, but she's gonna teach us. I'll talk to her. We'll talk and we'll set up a little training and we'll put it out there. You guys are more than welcome to join. I'll post about it. But yeah, it is another way, another platform. You don't have to do crazy videos, but it'll be another option, right? So okay, so wake up earlier, you guys. Make some sacrifices. Make some sacrifices. Dreams don't happen just by wishing. If you have a busy day, if you have a full-time job, there were times I can tell you, just I didn't want to get up at 4:45 in the morning, but I knew that I needed that. Otherwise, I wouldn't get the work done. I'm a morning person. At 9 o'clock, I am like many of you right now. I'm the opposite. I'm like at night, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to talk. Like I may even read some messages at night, like from customers or from some of you guys, and I'm like, I don't want to talk. I'll reply tomorrow. And it's like I'm not at my best at night, but it's because I'm a morning person. So I am aware of that. So what do? I get up early so that I can get things done before the day gets busy. Back then, I didn't have a team. I didn't have all that. I just needed to build a team. And what Tracy's saying, it is true. If you have high income financial goals, you are not going to do it just by selling, because there's only so much you can do. So start sharing the opportunity, and don't be addicted to what the person is going to say. That is not what measures your abilities or your capability of doing this business and being successful. Focus on presenting it to more people. Hi, Dave. Hello. Oh, and you guys, he just popped in. He's like, now he's just everywhere, and it's only day two. He's like, hello. But I asked him yesterday if he would do, I think you guys are gonna like this, some of you. I asked him to, I'm gonna interview him on my Facebook wall so that you guys can share it, maybe play it, but he is going to talk to the husbands. Okay, so it would be nice for your husbands, your significant others, to hear the other, like, I want you guys to also think what goes through your minds. And this is gonna be tricky, and I hope you're appropriate. No, I'm kidding. But But it is important because we also there were times where he was like, you're working too much, and he would get mad at me. We wouldn't talk to each other for a couple of days. It was rough. It's been rough, but we made it through. And we're going to talk about that. So that's going to be tomorrow, right?
No, Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
I need to color my hair.
He's like, I'm like, babe, let's do it tonight. He's like, no, I have a hair appointment tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
Thursday. No, but seriously,
Tomorrow.
This is one of those calls that you
boy.
want your husband to listen to.
We'll make it
I'm going to give you
public.
my perspective and what made me change my view of you running your business, because it's you running your business. All right. And you got to treat it like a business. Okay. And just want to say this, think about this, because for so many years, I was making sacrifice for my family, but I was waking up at 2:00 in the morning, 1:00 in the morning, going to work. Okay. And that did not benefit me. It benefit the company that I was working for. But now, if you do that for your family, who's going to benefit? Your children, your husband, you. So I just want to say that, but there's a lot more coming in our interview.
I'm worried now.
Okay, bye. I'll leave you.
Where's my breakfast?
Wow. I'm working harder now.
But he's wearing the shirt, right? Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. So I think that's gonna be of value to you guys. He wasn't this supportive always. I just put my foot down, and I'll talk more about that on the call with him. But I put my foot down and I said, if you're not willing to support me and understand the sacrifices that I need to make, then I'll quit. And you keep doing what you're doing. I'll be here, I'll watch the kids, but we're never going to change things, because it's either that or you need to find another job and go be more outside of the house, because we were drowning in debt. It was a lot of stress. So yeah, it was hard. And for a long time I was just like quietly, but then I said, you know what? I need to put my foot down, and I need to explain to him why I'm doing this, and he needs to understand. So this may not be some of you, your husbands, your spouses are your biggest fans, and that's cool too. But for some and many people, you will find that they haven't joined you because they're afraid of what their spouse is going to think, or their spouse is not on board. So this is going to be super helpful. It has nothing to do and everything to do with this call. But takeaways, did you guys find this helpful? I want you to take these stories and share. When somebody says, I don't have the time, think, dang, look, my teammate Tracy, she had a full-time job. She was working all the time, but she had a few things that she would do every day. And I'm going to share with you how we do this. Is that making sense? So this is not just to brag about what our accomplishments are or anything. We are sharing with you. Somebody says, oh, I can't because of this. Like, say, listen, Paula, my upline, had a husband that didn't support her. But then when they realized that he was working crazy hours and it was so early in the morning, he had to go to work, he realized, you know what? There is hope and there is another way to do things. And this is how you have to use that as the reason why you can make this business work. So I hope you guys use these stories. Eileen, watch Eileen's story, also very powerful. So you can hear her story where she shares. She had an amazing job. She didn't join for income, but things changed with COVID. And hear how she has used Zaya to have fun, make extra income. Hi, I see you. She's so cute. You see Kendra's daughter right there? I see you. Hi. So yeah, that is what is important. Make sure, hey, talk to your sponsor. Maybe you don't know your sponsor story. Ask her, what's your story? I want to hear your story. Maybe ask somebody in your sister line, hey, you guys, I want to hear your stories. Ask, get involved, find success partners, lean into the community, and every day have some minimums that you're going to commit to, that you put your head in your pillow and you're like, I did them, I feel good about it. You all do opportunity library, but yeah, we are doing we're having a Zoom tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Discover Saya. Huh, I forgot about it. Yes, we are doing that. Invite, present the opportunity, share. Like share tomorrow. If you want, use. So this is what's important about the stories, and this is when I was saying that there is a new wave coming. Is we haven't been using third party stories and third party validation as we should have, right? Like we've been very conservative in how we share, doing things kind of like under the radar, but it doesn't mean that we're going to go boasting. And is that the word, boasting? But like it's not about bragging or anything, but people need to hear stories. So share. I invite you guys, I challenge you after this call, post about something that inspired you today. Did you hear something today that you're like, man, that was good, and you expand on it? Share I don't know, share about it. And then at the end, add a call to action that says, if you want to learn more about what we do and how you can be part of it, join me tomorrow night at, even if you can't make it, send people to the call. I am sending them back to you. Like I am going to say, whoever invited you to this call, reach out to them, tell them what you think, get started. We're doing this. Some of you don't have the story. Yeah, and I'm leading it. I'll teach it. I have some slides. I'll go over it. I will do my best to keep it 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and I'll open it up. But the goal is I'm going to start them, but I just want you guys to know that I don't want to do all of them always. I want us to work as a team leading these calls. So if you're like, hey, I want to do one, I can do one Fridays at 10 a.m. in the morning, let me know. And then you are next. Like we send people your way. We'll support you, whatever, just having more opportunities to do this type of thing. We need to share more about what we do, make more noise, be excited about it. And ultimately, oh yeah, Tracy, ultimately the goal is to bless other people with this business. This morning I was talking to a friend. I don't know if she'll join us. It may be, and I felt weird about talking to her. I'll just tell you this. Her dog just passed away. She was telling me about how much it cost and all of these things, and she's worried and she's sad and she's all of this. And I said to her, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And I think she doesn't have enough information to say, heck yeah, I want to do that. So that's where I'm going. I want people to have more information. I want people to hear stories from other people and say, oh, I want that in my life. I want that breakthrough. I want that income, or I want that community, all any of that. So that's what we're going to be doing, sharing more stories and doing that. So I highly suggest you guys get on this wave and we go out and do it. Tracy, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, it took me forever.
No, it's fine. So this is totally just like one additional thing I wanted to add. So a while ago, I remember I was listening to a Brennan Burchard podcast, and he was talking about how he was able to spend like the last 6 weeks of his dad's life with him because he had a terminal illness. And that freedom and flexibility to be able to do that was something that he was forever grateful for. And I remember after I listened to that episode, I talked to my husband and I'm like, wouldn't it be so awesome if we had the flexibility to be able to, if ever, when that time comes with our moms, that that we'd be able to have that ability to do that as well and not have to worry about requesting time off of work, or just being able to be there by their side if ever anything like at all. And my husband was telling me, he's like, Tracy, I don't want to think about stuff like that. Like that's depressing stuff. I don't want to even talk about it. I don't want to think about it or anything like that. So last month, we found out that my mother-in-law was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And she was in the hospital for a long time. She's got tubes sticking out of her body full time to drain the fluids that are coming out. And it's been very, very hard for her. And she's been in and out of the hospital, surgery after surgery. And we made the decision for my husband to leave his job. And it was something that I am so grateful for, because we didn't have to think twice about how are we going to replace his income? How are we going to be able to make ends meet? Like, we were like, we worked this hard up until this point so that you can do this and you can be with your mom, because we have no idea how much time he has left with her. But the fact that he is able to be there and take her to all of her appointments, spend time with her as much as he needs to. He brings the kids over there whenever we can. Like, I haven't gone public with any of this information because we don't really want to share, like, my mother-in-law for the sake of her privacy. Like, we're not blasting it on social media. But I just want to tell you that, like, yes, now you may not have a reason. There may not be this push to really go gung-ho with this opportunity and what you're doing, but you got to think about the future and think about the things that it can enable for you, and just the peace of mind of knowing that he doesn't have to request time off, see if he has enough vacation days or anything like that. It's like, boom, I'm there. Anytime you need me, I'm there. And so I just wanted to share that, because I think sometimes it's those things that we don't want to think about, that we still need to just have that peace of mind. You know what I mean? So I just want to share.
Wow. Thank you for sharing, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Wow. It makes you really think. And look, that, like Dev is saying, I'm a cancer survivor, and it meant so much to have my son with me. It's worth it. You're worth it. You're worthy of success, freedom, flexibility. And it would be selfish of us not saying, what the heck are you doing? Do something with it. It may not be the goal for everybody, but I know that there are some of you there that have big goals and you've been playing small. We wanted to inspire you to play bigger, take action, massive action, because this is a winning season in this industry, in this business. November and December may be the holidays or whatever, but I will tell you, the way that you show up right now will determine what happens in 2021 for you. So if you're ready, go take action now. You know what to do. Stop doubting that don't know what to do. It comes a time where we have to stop listening to trainings and trying to figure out what the secret sauce is. Just go talk to more people. I challenge you to invite 10 people today to our Discover Zaya call tomorrow. Invite them, use some of the stories you heard today. You don't need to use names, just say, I just heard a powerful story from my teammate. And wow, I cannot wait to share this with you. We have a call tomorrow. If you want the link, I will send it to you. Reach out to me. Okay, I hope this was helpful, guys, and inspiring, and that it gives you hope and optimism and the desire to work hard on your goals. Love you guys. Appreciate you so much. Tracy, thank you so much for being here and sharing with us and getting up so early. Love you guys.
It was with pleasure. Thank you.
Flawless. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Crystal. So are you. Bye, guys.